78 Sports TV here. Salute to the mighty ldbc. Smash the like button and hit the subscribe. Turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop a new video. And if you're digging the video, go ahead and share this joint. Now, Angel Garcia, been a long time since we heard that name. Angel Garcia, the father of Danny Garcia, former world champion at 140 pounds, and now campaigning, I believe, at 154 still, or is he at 160? I think Danny's still at 154. But Angel Garcia did an interview, I believe, with Fight Hub. I'm listening to it, and he's going off, but it's very subtle. He said that the PBC had his son sitting on the shelf for 3 years, inactive for 3 years. And he says a lot of stuff he wants to say that he can't say. He said maybe he'll talk about it one day after they retired and all that kind of stuff. But he says it's a lot of politics involved with the sport of boxing, and he don't like how his son was done. Now, that's the gist of what he said. You can read between the lines, and we can speculate as to whatever he's talking about. But what we do know is this: the PBC has been in trouble for a long time. The PBC at one time had the roster. They had all the elite fighters pretty much, except for like 3 or 4 of them. They had all the elite fighters on their roster, and they fumbled the bag. They fumbled it. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's bad juju, it's bad karma. You know what I'm saying? They stole, Al Heyman and Richard Schaefer stole Oscar De La Hoya's fighters because Oscar was on that yayo and wasn't paying attention to his business. Richard Schaefer and Al Heyman was able to come in and snatch up those fighters. And then they had a great run. But after that, you see what happened. You see now the PBC is in trouble. Now you see Turkey Al Sheikh here. You see Dana White here. Well, it's really Turkey. Turkey run Matchroom Boxing. He run Dana White. Turkey got all this stuff. He run everything. Turkey is the Don Dada at this moment in boxing. And Angel actually talked about Turkey as well. He said that, he liked what Turkey is out here doing for the most part. But Angel says that he thinks Danny is, well, he said this is Danny's last fight in October. This month it's going to be his last fight or something like that. But he said that he thinks Danny got a lot more in him. But, it is what it is. So, yeah, it is. Thinking about this and processing this information and what he said, it is kind of sad when you think about Keith Thurman, who's selling the shelf for years. You think about Jamal Charlo, who's selling the shelf for years. Oh, no, 78, he had mental issues. Oh, really? So Jamal had mental issues. Jamel had mental issues. Danny Garcia had mental issues. Like, how many people from the PBC are going to have mental issues? Now, it's not just the PBC, but my thing is this. A lot of those mental issues could be a result of not being active, having financial problems, not knowing when you're going to fight again, when you're going to be able to pay this bill, when you're going to be able to buy this or that. You know what I'm saying? You done made promises, can't deliver. You know what I'm saying? And the PBC has a lot of inner turmoil going on with their finances. The only person, it seems like they have really paid attention. Look at Earl. Earl Spence is still out. Earl Spence hasn't fought since the Crawford fight, bro. Don't tell me this is a coincidence. The PBC is in big, big trouble. And now it looks like they finna lose Tank Davis. Because Tank is out here. He's over there with MVP Promotions, which is Jake Paul. So it's going to be in conjunction, I guess. But the lead promoter is MVP, not the PBC, which is amazing. That's how the mighty have fallen. Now that Jake Paul is the lead promoter, Jake Paul is the one who's going to get the lion's share. He's the A side. He's going to get the lion's share of the profit and the money. Tank is going to be well taken care of, but all these lies about Tank making 100 million, 150 million, this is just cap made up from Tank Davis fans to justify him fighting Jake Paul because they want to make it seem like, oh, anybody take that money. Anybody would do that. I told y'all they was going to do this cap. But anyway, if Tank Davis does retire the way he says he is, which is whatever. People always say they won't retire and they don't. But if he does, I don't know how the PBC continues to make money. They don't. They no longer have Deontay Wilder. They don't have. I mean, I guess. I mean, they got fighters, but they're just not active. They're not active, so they're irrelevant. You know what I mean? They're irrelevant. But I don't understand why. If I'm Al Heyman, me personally, I don't know all the ins and outs of their business, so I'm not trying to pretend like I know. Look, Al Heyman is a very intelligent man, a lot smarter than me when it comes to the financial game. So I'm not trying to school. I don't have the nerve to try to school Al Heyman on how to make his money. But I would say this though, without knowing all the details, and I know that the PBC is in some ways working with Turkey. PBC are allowing their fighters to go over there. If I'm them, I'm going all in with Turkey. Like, you got a bankroll, cool. Fund us. You know what I'm saying? Let us get a deal like you got Matchroom. But see, Matchroom has contracts with their fighters. Matchroom Boxing has contracts with their fighters. Real promotion. The PBC don't really have contracts with their fighters. Because remember, Golden Boy didn't have contracts with those fighters either, for the most part. And Richard Schaefer came in, swooped in and stole them because they didn't have contracts. Al Heyman didn't get them under contract either. They signed to like, what's that? What's the dude's name? They signed to like Tom Brown or something. I mean, whatever it is. But I know they ain't got no contracts. So a lot of people will tell you they free to fight wherever they want to, but they don't because they're trying to be loyal to Al Heyman. But the PBC at one point was the biggest thing since sliced bread. They had Adrian Bronner, Deontay Wilder, Earl the True Spence, Showtime Sean Porter, Keith One Time Thurman. Man, the list goes on. The Charlo brothers. The list goes on what the PBC, when they was on top, you know what I'm saying, really doing their thing. They had the game on lock. You know what I mean? But poor money management, in my opinion. Overpaying guys for fights that guys should have been making probably $1.5, $2 million for. Al was really taking care of these dudes, and that's where that loyalty comes in. That they love Al Heyman because he really took care of a lot of people. He's still, from what I hear, taking care of a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I heard Al Heyman taking care of Pritchard Cologne and his family, so shout out to Al for that. I heard so many stories in the streets about what Al was doing for Adrian Bronner. But Bronner kept messing up his money. I ain't gonna say nothing else about other people, but Al has done a lot for people. And stuff that you have never even heard of, stuff that if you had made the news could have ruined the fighter. Al has cleaned up a lot of stuff behind the scenes, so I hear. So I understand the loyalty, you know what I'm saying? But I think if Al wants to do right by his fighters, if they're having financial issues in the PBC, I think he needs to go all in with Turkey and say, all right, Turkey, look, this is what we're going to do. Just how you work with Eddie, how you work with Frank, right? Work with us, right? We do our collaborations. Let's make it happen. That's what I would have done. And I know for a fact Turkey did reach out to the PBC for that type of deal, but I think the PBC is working with Turkey, but not under the same. They like working with him from a distance. Like, they will let their fighters go over there, but they're not in bed with Turkey, is what I'm saying. They like hiding on the side of the bed, giving them a hand job, but they're not in the bed with Oscar and Eddie and, Pauls, you know what I'm saying? That was wild. But you know what I'm saying? They wild. So it is what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think about what Angel Garcia has to say about the PBC. What do y'all think about the PBC having these fighters with these long layouts, man? Inactivity. Now you got Sebastian Fundora, who's supposed to fight Keith Thurman. Now that fight is postponed to next year. And they're going to tell you it's because Fundora hand injury. I heard something else. I'm not going to speculate on that. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. 78 Sports TV. Salute to the mighty ldbc. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm up out of here. Deuces.